Good evening, Commander Delinsky. I'm here to brief you about the events that recently took place here in the Capitol. What we have is a drug transaction that culminated into a murder scene. Fortunately, a great deal of evidence has been recovered from both the crime scene and the associated apartment of the suspect. At this time, we believe that the events started at the BP gas station. Surveillance footage and witness testimony tell us that a white Acura sedan and a dark Ford SUV met at the far end of the parking lot, most likely to discuss the location where the transaction would ultimately take place. One witness said that he possibly even knew the identity of at least one of the drivers. The two parties then leave together and drive a few miles away to a remote section of the public park. It's at this location where the transaction goes sour and violence ultimately broke out. The sedan, which was likely owned by the drug dealer named Eric Smith, has several areas of blood spatter on the passenger side, and there are pools of blood on the ground below where the body was discovered. We also found several bullet shells next to the car, some boot prints, a small amount of heroin, and scale in the trunk. We also uncovered a steno book and a cell phone, which can certainly assist us in determining a precise timeline. The phone will likely contain fingerprints and other possible DNA elements such as hair or earwax. It also could contain a vast amount of digital information, but that data would have to be accessed successfully. Even if the phone owners used an AEL3 encryption protocol app, several pieces of direct verification could be inferred from it. The steno book found in the trunk was very possibly the drug dealer's ledger that will contain business transaction histories that will help us authenticate who exactly was involved in these events and perhaps the motives why it actually became so violent. In the apartment where Tommy Bragg lives, the suspect, investigators uncovered several pieces of evidence. We found boots that tread analysis proves are the same boots that left the impression at the murder scene. We also uncovered a flannel shirt with blood on it in the suspect's room, and the lab has confirmed that the blood has come from Eric Smith, most likely due to his gunshot wounds. A revolver was found, and testing reveals that a latent fingerprint on the trigger matches that of Tommy Bragg, the suspect. And ballistics has proved that the shell casings found at the scene matches the revolver found in the apartment. So we have the murder weapon in the suspect's apartment in his dresser next to his bed. In the kitchen, we found a wallet that forensics has identified to belonging to Eric Smith. It was found on the counter, and it was most likely stolen by the suspect at the crime scene, most likely after the murder took place. We did find an Apple laptop in the living room that is associated with a person named Brandon Luck. We are still trying to determine if he had a role in these events. We did not find any evidence pointing to Eric Smith ever being in this apartment before, other than his wallet, which we can infer that the suspect, Tommy Bragg, stole from him after the murder in the public park. This case can rely solely on the forensic evidence that has been uncovered and analyzed at the scene and at the apartment. These events appeared to be in the heat of the moment and not premeditated because both scene and the apartment don't show any real signs of anyone trying to cover their tracks or to push law enforcement in a different direction. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.